So, this is the end, huh?
Of what?
I just can't believe it's all over.
Do you mean the show? Yeah, I guess. We're halfway there at least.
Halfway, we are on the cusp of greatness. This thing's really coming to a head here.
Ed, are you alright? We're exactly halfway through a 2-show taping. We're not building to anything. Almost all of these feuds are going to continue next week and beyond that.
Exactly.
Exactly what?
Exactly what the fans want to see. And we gave it to them, just like last week.
Ed, what is wrong with your brain? You're talking like a crazy person. Are you okay?
I'm giving the fans what they want to see, and what they want to see is inside my brain. And inside my brain is total nonstop action.
Why would you make this?
Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for listening. This is Why Would You Make This? Season 3, The Asylum Years, the only podcast to try to convince you it's all over when it's really just begun, making you ask the question, why would you make this? I am Jimmy Time. I'm joined by my co-host for this season, Brother Skylar.
I'm here again.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm having a little bit of trouble with my throat, so I'm sorry if I do cough a little bit.
All right. That's not good. During Season 3, we are taking you through National Wrestling Alliance Total Nonstop Action weekly pay-per-view shows, now known as The Asylum Years. This episode is NWA TNA Pay-Per-View number 2, which aired June 26th, 2002, but was recorded the week before, June 19th, the same day as the first pay-per-view. So that means still from the Van Braun Center, now known as the Van Braun Civic Center in Huntsville, Alabama, or Alabama. Still drawing about 3,000 people in the live attendance and doing roughly 6.5 thousand pay-per-view buys. According to Jerry Jarrett's book, NWA TNA, A New Concept in Pay-Per-View Programming, Jerry estimated he needed 55,000 buys per show to break even, which means roughly he needs $1.1 million by show 2.
No, that's not happening.
He is short $1 million from breaking even.
He got that decimal point.
Yeah, I'm actually...
He got one of the ones.
No, because he's probably more like...
Oh, you're rounding.
Yeah, I'm rounding up. He's... All right, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about what happened last week with our crazy past. First off, I want to talk about some corrections, just some things I left out, or things that I did correct in the video version of this, because there is a YouTube video version that I corrected there, but not, obviously, in this show, so going to correct them. Number 1. The wrestler that lost to the referee Jeff Jarrett in his debut match. Remember last week there was a wrestler on a losing streak? That wrestler is Tony Falk. He's actually a famous wrestler. And
Tony Falk. Oh, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say it. I was like, oh, wait, he's not just some loser. He's a famous loser.
Oh, no. I'm so glad you gave him that recognition.
All right. So next, when I was giving the dates of the WCW title change between Jarrett and then David Arquette and DDP and that whole time frame, I got some of the dates wrong. I corrected it in the video. If you're interested in it now, you're going to have to look them up by searching the history of the WCW title. I'm not going to go through it. Next, Miss Choney. I said she was from the USWA. The USWA is another attempt at a third promotion back in the 90s this time, which lasted from 89 to 97. You might remember it being the time that Jerry Lawler invaded ECW in 97.
Yes.
That was USWA, him and all that stuff.
When Dreamer broke his balls.
Yeah, popped him. Ah!
Oh, that was that sound.
That was the sound it made. It just burned into me. Yeah, that was real.
Popped.
But the thing is, I said she was from the USWA, Miss Joni. But according to Jerry Lawler's book, It's Good to Be the King, sometimes
Plugged.
he met. Yeah, I get why you. He met her in late 2001. So there's no way he could have been. Yeah, then there's no way she could have been that. Exactly. Yeah. So
it was done by then.
Given that fact that he met her in 2001. The only thing I know about her then is that she is Jerry Lawler's girlfriend, and that's why she was in that match and the match on this card.
Yeah, that's why she's in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Next, I kept calling the man Sterling Martin. That is not his name. His name is Sterling Marlin. Those are two different names, I feel like, especially because they translate differently. Sterling Marlin is like, shimmering swordfish,
Yeah, I was about to say that's a fish, isn't it? A
but
marlin?
Sterling Martin is more like sweaty Irish priest.
Yeah, I feel like Martin's his first name, and you're trying to give him like, you're trying to describe who he is.
All right, the last bit of the corrections is obviously the main event. So Lash LaRue, what was he, number 2? 3, I guess. Yeah, it's second to come out, but number 3.
He was the first to come out of the two people starting, right? Because it was Jarrett and Buff, and then Lash came out.
Right, except it looked like Buff was coming out because he ran out before anyone announced him, so it seemed like, Anyway, he broke his neck, or suffered a neck injury anyway, after this show, the week after the show, and he's out of action for 7 months. We will never see him again.
Oh, so it's going to seem like that was a one-off, but it probably wasn't.
It probably wasn't supposed to be. Yeah, TNA does ask him to come back in 2004, but it's only on their B show, Explosion, so we're never going to see him.
Can you call that a B show? Is that a D show? I don't even know what that is. Explosion?
God, that's harsh.
What is Explosion?
I also said Norman Smiley does not have a finisher. Technically, that's not true. That before he became a gimmick wrestler, he did have a finisher, and it was the most devastating submission hold in all of wrestling history.
Rings of Saturn?
The crossface chicken wing.
Oh, God. There's no way out.
It was called the Norman Conquest, which is based off of Norman's conquest of England in 1066.
You still could have named the Wiggle Norman's Conquest.
Yeah.
Bend him over that rope.
That would have been even worse. Oh, my God. So Del Rios, the not Scott Steiner guy, remember him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was also known as Spellbinder, a.k.a. Phantasmo, a.k.a. that guy who did the magic tricks before WWF Wrestling Challenge, before his match on WWF Wrestling Challenge in 1995. He just kept taking masks off and like pulling paper out of his face.
Yeah, he pulled the ribbon out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's never ending.
Same guy.
Oh.
Same guy. Not Scott Steiner and him. Same guy. And then, I just had to say this because I experienced this horrible thing and you have to as well.
Oh, great.
While editing the show, I was looking for some sort of visual effect for the original midget killer for Puppet.
Oh, no.
Yo, apparently, a lot of women kill their dwarf lovers.
Oh, wait, that's like an actual
page after page of
Black
news
Widow.
report.
Oh, my.
I was like, oh my gosh, this happens a lot.
So he was the first.
Hopefully, unrelated to that, this was Hollywood's last appearance on the show, as well as Christian York and Justice. Yeah. We will never see them again.
Wink, wink.
Right. So now this is the actual Our Crazy Past. We want to tell you what's happening on the last show in case you didn't see it. And then it's going to seem redundant because the show itself does it. But as time goes on, it will include more gimmicks and feuds that we have started and never finished. So it's like, well, this still happened. Maybe they'll finish it someday. Like, it'll make sense later on. So right now, it's just, last week was the debut of NWA TNA. We saw the crowning of a new NWA champion after a 20-man over-the-top battle royal, which turned into a singles match for the last two survivors, which then saw Ken Shamrock winning over Malice and thus becoming the new NWA champion.
Ooh.
We were also introduced to the X Division, Midget Wrestling, the Dups, the Johnsons, the three-man announce team, the backstage interviewer, and NWA Legends. And then we were told that this week we are going to get a lingerie battle royal, a My Kind vs. Your Kind match.
No.
My Kind vs. Your Kind.
I want to hear that.
And Scott Hall versus Jeff Jarrett. Again, all this week. So, let's start the show. Yeah?
Dun, 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 dun. Is that the theme? Can't remember.
I don't remember. So we get a recap of last week. I know, I'm sorry. I just did this, but they do it too.
The recap went on so long.
They recapped everything.
Oh my God.
Jackie Fargo makes Jeff Jarrett the number 1 for the gauntlet and the gold. Shamrock is number 19. Scott Hall is also in it. Jarrett tries to kill Jackie Fargo backstage. Jarrett interrupts Toby Keith's live concert.
I love that it was just a recap, but they put that entire segment in there because it was that quick.
It's the whole thing. There's only 12 seconds. Yeah. During the Gauntlet for the Gold, Malice from James Mitchell's Disciples of the New Church dominates, but Apollo is a contender.
They show him do one kick.
Yeah.
It was all Malice doing choke slams.
Yeah, he did like 4 choke slams, and then Apollo's like, oh, but he's a contender. Hata! I was like, oh, okay. Scott Hall hits Jarrett with the outsider's edge. Toby Keith suplexes Jeff Jarrett, and then they both eliminate Jarrett.
I like how he sells like he pooped his pants.
Shamrock turns Malice's chokeslam into a belly-to-belly for the win for the NWA title. Jarrett complains / asks the three legends if they've ever won a world title through a battle royal, and then punches two of them. Fargo challenges Jarrett to a match with Hall next week. So he challenges Jarrett to fight Hall. Fargo has nothing to do with it. Yeah, it's just, I don't get it. And that's the recap. Now the show actually starts. Old-timey black and white music explodes into the TNA logo. Pyros and smoke machines fire as Mike Tenay welcomes us alongside the opinionated Ed Ferrara and Don West.
I'm pretty sure when it starts, like right as the transition happens, you can hear like Borash or someone over the mic just say something. It's something like that, or it's like
1.
no, it was either like not yet or something like that, and then it just started. And whoops.
So don't do it. We're not ready. Go. So Mike lets Ed recap the My Kind versus Your Kind match, which he describes as a fantastic situation when K Crush tried to get something going with Sterling Marlin and Hermie Sadler, and then Brian Christopher answered. Then Don West recaps the battle royal, or the lingerie battle royal. The less skin to win.
My favorite part of that was, and the fans have to remember, less skin. He struggled to remember what he was supposed to remember.
It doesn't make a lot of the less skin to win. So the less skin. Wait, the less skin. So
you don't want skin.
You don't want.
Collect the skins.
So the most clothes win. Why would you say it that way?
Throw the skins out.
Yeah. And he also says the greatest cat fight in TV history.
No.
I doubt that. I really doubt that. Have you?
I don't even know who any of these women are.
No. Mike Tenay mentions Scott Hall versus Jeff Jarrett and a round-robin X Division title tournament. We go into Seg 1.
That was a tournament?
That was it was a round-robin tournament.
Okay.
That's so it's yeah. Yeah, all right.
It was like a match, I thought.
It was one match, but it was a tournament style match.
I liked it. I liked the idea of it.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah. All right, so segment 1. This match is one fall and 20-minute time limit. The Chosen One versus Jeff Jarrett versus Wrestling's True Outlaw Scott Hall with the Fabulous One Jackie Fargo and CMA's 2001 Male Vocal Artist of the Year Toby Keith. Everybody has such a long moniker in this match.
What the hell?
This is where it gets weird because they say this match is one fall, 20 minutes, making his way to the ring, Jeff Jarrett. And then Jeff Jarrett gets in the ring and he goes, I'm not going to wait anymore. Bring him out right now. And Tenay goes, well, this was supposed to be the main event, but here...
I noticed that too. I was like, but Borash was completely ready. Yeah. And the music... I was like, all right. Because they say it in the next match, actually. Spoiler alert. He was like, well, now we're going to have the match that was supposed to originally be scheduled. Right. So I can understand him coming out. But the music hit, and Borash... What they're trying to say is Borash is just that good of an announcer. And he was just like, oh, Jeff Jarrett's coming out. I'm not skipping a beat, and I'm just going to announce that Jeff Jarrett's coming out, even though I wasn't expecting him. Because he announced them like everything was normal.
That'd be the best way to do this.
Exactly. I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense because Borash is not that good. But
the only way that this explains it is that Jerry Borash is a god ring announcer. Yep. The only way to explain it. He was just like,
nope, this is not flubbing me. During his entrance, you get those 3 obvious plant women.
Were they plants?
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure?
They did not fit.
Well, the thing
with the crowd.
The thing about it is because you got to remember that the people in the audience, they've already been there for like 2 hours at least. So they've been drinking for 2 hours. So they really can be that drunk. That's the thing.
But who were they with? Did they just show up like, let's go see this?
The wrestling show?
NWA, yeah.
Maybe they're like, let's go see the wrestling show.
I don't know about that one. It's plausible. I'm not trying to judge, but
yeah, it was new. They didn't know yet.
Plants.
Who's to say?
Wrestlers' girlfriends.
Probably. Yeah. They probably were wrestlers' girlfriends. Yeah. Okay, so slow open to the match with Jarrett making Hall look foolish, which Hall returns with good wrestling, including a fallaway slam, his signature fallaway slam. Jarrett sells to the outside. He bumps into Toby. He backs away scared. He goes back in the ring. Hall and Jarrett trade punches around the ring, and then Jarrett locks in a sleeper. Bam! During the sleeper, Ferrara asks if Fargo knows where he is or if he came out here to stand in line for tickets to the opera.
He was struggling just to stand there for like at least 60 seconds at a time. He kept like taking one knee. He was leaning on the apron. I kept losing him because you would just see the top of his head.
Yeah.
He was just peeking over like Tim Allen's neighbor.
Yeah, I do think it was a little like ironic in that sense is that they made Jackie Fargo stand out there for the full, whatever it was, 5-minute match or 10-minute match or
He
something like
didn't
that.
stand though.
But he desperately needed a chair. And then meanwhile, they gave chairs to the X Division wrestlers
Oh
at
my
the end of it.
God.
They're like, sit down in this chair. And they're like, no, I'm about to wrestle. I'm not going to sit down in a chair. I was just like, this is...
Episode 1. We respect where
Right?
we came from and all the legends. No.
Stand. And then during a sleeper, Don also complains, oh, come on. Jarrett isn't even wrestling.
Don was saying other things. I was slowly learning their dynamic.
Yeah.
Tanae's nonstop just telling you what's happening in the ring.
Right.
And then Ed Ferrara gives his opinion of what they're thinking. And Don West just shouts onomatopoeias over everyone as they're talking. Oh, wow!
Well, the thing is, because as this show goes on, I feel like I've got it too. But I think what it is, like you said, Tanae is Tanae.
Yeah.
Ed, like you said, he shouts his opinion, but it is his shoot opinion.
Yeah.
It is not a character. It is constantly his shoot opinion. And I think Don West is desperately trying to be like the behind the fans face announcer, but the subject topic of the show makes him seem like a pure villain.
Well, yeah, that
'Cause
one
he's
match doesn't help.
behind
Yeah.
it a lot, and it's like, no, don't, Don, don't. So, but you know, you say like that one match actually, because you say that one match, but no, because Jarrett is wrestling. He's got a sleeper, and he's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
wrestle!" It's like, no, Don. Calm down. He is wrestling, Don. I know you want to be
doesn't understand
excited.
what it
You're
is.
doing the wrong thing. Yeah. So Hall fights out of the sleeper, bounces Jarrett from corner to corner. Hall calls for the end, but
Heels save heels because heels.
that's right. K Crush runs out for the save, and he pulls Jarrett out of the outsider's edge, and then punches Hall directly in the face.
This is my favorite.
But the sun was totally in the ref's eyes, and he couldn't see nothing. So it's fine. It's fine, even though he's late. It's fine. Jackie Fargo punches K Crush, but the cameras don't really see it. So he no-sells it, and he goes, do it again.
He kind of sold it. He like sold it drunken style, where he was like looking all over the place, like he didn't know what just hit him because he got hit loopy.
Oh, okay.
Even though Jackie Fargo was just standing in front of him, and how do you miss Jackie Fargo standing in front of you? He's like a little hobbit
It was
man.
great. I loved it.
And then just punched him again because he didn't know what just hit him.
And then punched him again, which he didn't have time to sell because Brian Christopher was already running out for the distraction.
Which you didn't see him come out.
You didn't see him come out. You saw the chase around the ring.
I thought he just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I thought it was a
you just
magic
cuts to the chase around the ring, and then it cuts to a camera falling down
Oh.
right as Christopher catches up to Crush. So I don't know what happens to them.
Yeah,
I don't know what they do. Worse than that, for some reason, the ref follows them. Sees them.
Well, you
running
know who the ref is.
Slick the ref. Yeah. So Jeff Jarrett goes for the stroke, but Toby Keith enters the ring, gives him a low blow, and then Toby and Hall hit sort of a double face buster.
Maybe they were going for a double stroke.
I don't know what they were doing.
Hall goes down to his knees. Toby just throws him.
Yeah,
He
he
barely
barely
bends
throws
it.
his arm.
Yeah.
Like 50-50. Either he was like, you're not paying me enough, or I definitely hurt myself on that suplex.
Oh yeah, I'm not
and
doing
I can't do
anything.
anything.
I didn't like that bump.
No, yeah. So, yeah, double face buster.
And this is fine because the ref isn't in the ring.
he's
So
not.
he has plenty of time to get out before the ref comes
Yeah.
back in.
Which he does, and Hall gets to the ring. No move after that.
No, he doesn't.
What?
He stands over the pin, staring at both of them, and the ref just gets in and counts 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
He's just standing there staring at him.
That's right.
And I'm like, how is this happening?
Ugh. So we immediately cut to the dancing girls. And today says, I'm not sure anything was really settled here.
Oh, my God.
Match length, 7 minutes. Segment length, 10 minutes and 5 seconds. Your thoughts?
Jarrett was leaning heavily on the "how do you like me now" line.
Right.
He was just working the crowd. I got bored with it quick. I don't know what it was. If it was a build, if it was a payoff. I got confused by the whole thing, and I didn't enjoy it. So it was what it was, I guess, to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Hall looked better, and Toby Keith looked worse.
Yeah.
Which is weird. And then I presume that, first off, I presume that happened because the match was made for a drunk guy. And he probably sweat out some of the alcohol, so he wasn't as drunk as when they planned it. So
Yeah.
it was super easy. And then I have to presume that next week when there are no legends or celebrities involved, we'll actually get some momentum in this feud and stuff like that. Where did that come from?
I gotta mute this. My bad.
And then also, I have no respect for Slick Johnson as a referee.
I told you.
I hate his guts.
The worst.
He has no control in the ring. I don't know. He's got nothing. Okay, segment 2.
He's like Eric Bischoff if he was a referee. He just wants to be one of the boys. He doesn't care about his job particularly, and he sacrifices his job and its responsibilities to just try to, I don't know, he wants to be a wrestler? I don't know what it is. He just does his job horribly.
You mean Nick Patrick?
Yes, he's like that, but worse because he's like an overactor version of that.
So yeah, segment 2 is a recap of the Lingerie Battle Royal, specifically the catfight part. Don West says, it's going to be the greatest thing we've ever seen! Segment length, 45 seconds. Do you have any thoughts on this? No? You don't have to.
TNA doesn't just stand for total nonstop action. It stands for TNA.
Well, yeah, 100%. That's my thoughts on this too. This is them subtly reminding the viewers, hey, don't forget, this is pay-per-view, which means legally we can show you nudity, and wouldn't it be cool if you saw some of that? Yeah, it might happen. Keep watching the show you already paid for and there are no commercials in.
Segue to the dancing girls in cages.
Yep. But also, we're 4 segments away from that happening. What a weird place to recap this. It's not the next segment. I don't understand.
That's why I didn't understand why there was such a long recap in the beginning of the show. I knew they were going to recap it anyway.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So segment 3, TNA says this was originally supposed to be the opening contest, but it was hijacked by Jarrett. The 402-pound Cheeks, a.k.a. Rolling Thunder from ACW, American Championship Wrestling.
Oh, my God.
With the brown-eyed girl. Awful.
I hate TNA sometimes.
Yeah.
With his little acting surprise confusion. And he's coming down with the brown-eyed girl? I'm just like, stop, TNA. You sound so bad.
Yeah. Versus someone, they never introduce him. They say his name later is Frank Parker, but he doesn't he's already in the ring, and TNA, and then Borash doesn't say his name.
Oh, wow.
So we don't know who he is.
So we know who's going to win this.
Right. TNA puts Cheeks over by saying he claims to be trained by the Anderson brothers, Gene and Ole. And I'm like, why are we disputing this?
I love that he threw that in. This is what he claims, folks. I'm not too sure about that. They waste their time on him.
So if he showed up with a certificate, would he have been in Maine? Like, what if he had like a certificate of training? Like, was it like?
I think we should analyze that document. I don't know if it's actually real.
I think he's X-Division champion. So the match starts, and Parker runs through Cheeks, but it does not work, and he gets slammed. TNA mentions that Frank Parker was trained by the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, and Ferrara just starts screaming at him. Who cares about Jimmy Valiant or the Andersons? That was news from 10 years ago, 50 years ago. All I care about is that Jeff Jarrett got screwed again.
This is TNA where we focus on the past and where we respect our roots. No, we don't. Immediately. This is episode 2.
Yeah.
Secretly, the same night that they said that.
I don't like it because I'm almost sort of with Ferrara on this one, where I'm like, I am upset with how little Toby Keith gave us this week.
Yeah.
And then that was the finish. Like, really? A suplex and a lame facebuster, and now like, oh, look out, Toby Keith is the threat. Like, no.
With his backwards hat.
Parker tries to Irish whip Cheeks, but it doesn't work, and he gets slammed.
This entire... No, just go on.
Yeah, okay. TNA announces that the TNA officials were in a huddle and decided that next week a tag match is going to happen between Brian Christopher and Scott Hall versus Jeff Jarrett and Kate Crush. Cheeks throws Parker into the corner, who slumps down, and then he throws his own cheeks into Parker's face twice. Again, they don't care. In case you haven't noticed, they don't care. Ferrara makes a Austin Powers fat bastard reference by saying, I saw him chasing Tio backstage going, get in my belly. It's like, oh my God.
They don't care at all about this.
And then, look, Don West is already a suspect racist to me.
Okay.
And it doesn't make it any better when he goes, talk about Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh,
like,
that's who said that. I thought that was TNA.
Was it? Oh, I thought it was
I wasn't
West.
sure who said it.
I thought, okay, maybe I was wrong on that one. Ferrara calls Cheeks the long-lost Dup cousin, Blow Dup, because Cheeks is visibly winded. And he continues by saying Cheeks is breathing so hard that he's caused the first 3 rows to pass out from oxygen deprivation.
No, but seriously, he looked that way the second he started walking out.
Yeah. He came out with his lame, soft shoe shuffle
He
that he couldn't do. He couldn't keep up
no,
with
he
it.
didn't do that. He walked down. He did a waddle down
Yeah.
while huffing and puffing. And then he did this dance that he was forced to do. I say forced because it looked like he was not enjoying it at all.
Yes. Where he just kind of like moved his arms like chugging a train.
Yeah, it's like doing a happy dance. He just
But
like
he-
didn't care.
He had to walk, stop, do the dance, and then walk again. Like
Yeah.
he couldn't find the rhythm or the energy to do it all at once. Don West joins in by saying, "Oh, I guess that's why Frank Parker's winded too." I was just like, "Yo, these guys are not getting hired."
That's his strategy. He'll take all the oxygen out of the ring.
We cut to Alicia harassing Jeremy Borash, and I'm like, "Yo, why even have this match?
There's so much
Why
stuff is
even
happening.
have this match?" Cheeks sits on Parker and then gets up and splashes him, and then that's the three, like, for the rest of his life. Borash gives Alicia some money, and I think I can see Borash mouthing, "All right, this is the last time. For real. This is it. For real."
I want to know what this is about.
I
I suddenly became interested in the segment once I saw that because, like I said last time, I'm so interested in what
I
this is going to be
I
about.
am going to be so upset if they drop this and it goes nowhere. I don't care how lame the ending is. If they fucking drop this,
Honestly, I wouldn't be
I'm
surprised
going to be pissed.
because I'm familiar with all this and I just don't remember this.
That's
I don't
part of
remember
it.
the payoff.
I remember a lot of this, but I don't. And I remember her, but I don't remember the payoff.
It might,
And that's what it is. That's what's making me very nervous. So we cut to the dancing girls, and one of them is literally just shaking her ass at
Oh,
the
yeah.
camera. 100%.
I thought of that too because right as they won, Brown Eyed Girl started dancing, and then they were just like, "Nah, you don't want to watch this," and they went immediately to the white girl in the cage shaking her. I was just like, "Come on,
Oh my God.
well, you had a girl dancing."
So, match length, surprisingly, 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Really?
That's what I have written here.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't another 2 minutes of him walking to the
And
ring.
then segment length, 4 minutes and 23 seconds.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that match was purely for more information about the show and Ed Ferrara and Don West's comedy segment. They wrote down lines all night like Jerry Lawler in the 90s and just got as much of it out as possible.
Right. Yeah, that's how I felt. That they didn't care about the match. Why the hell should I care about that
Yep.
match? We're not even doing a star system and 0 stars.
Right? Yeah.
I don't even
0 stars.
I feel the need to give this match 0 stars, even though we're not doing that.
0 stars for the match, 1 star for the commentary. Because that's all I was supposed to care about, apparently.
I guess, yeah. So segment 3? No, segment 4. My Kind versus Your Kind recap. It's basically the whole segment they recap. How's the races? Sterling and Hermie. K Crush is kind, does it better. You're not an athlete. Alabama. I'll show you an athlete. Brian Christopher for the save. My Kind versus Your Kind. You're on.
Yeah, I saw all this already. Even in the beginning of the show.
I need as a human being to point this out. I don't care where you're watching this show. I don't care if it's on the TNA like official streaming website. I don't care if it's on an original VHS copy.
Mhm.
I don't care if it's stolen from the internet and you're suspect that someone might have edited it. I don't care if it's in the future and it's on the WWE network. Yes, this is K Crush's and Brian Christopher's real entrance music.
Oh, yeah, it sounded slightly dubbed. Or
It is
something,
their
or-
real music. It sounds like it's made from a Casio keyboard
Yeah.
live. Like,
Live.
like
High
it
performance.
is. Well, I forget who's who, but one of them is like, it's like literally like, bam, 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 bam,
That was
bam, 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 bam.
dum, dum, dum,
Bookie,
dum.
bookie, bookie,
Yep.
bookie, bookie, bookie.
That was K Crush.
And then that means Brian Christopher was bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam.
Yep.
Bookie, bookie, bam, 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 bam. Bookie, bookie,
Which I'm
bookie.
not sure if he could hear because he was dancing to a completely different beat.
Yeah, he has an entrance that he does and he did it, and it didn't matter what he was doing.
I'm
it
pretty
to.
sure he has a dance, and then WWE watched his dance and made music to his dance,
That would make
and
sense.
then he still does it
That would make sense.
because he did it almost exactly the same. I'm sure if you took out the audio and put in his old Too Cool music,
Right.
then it would match up perfectly his dance. Because
Right.
he did the same exact dances in the same exact order and like almost the same exact placements all over the entrance ramp.
That's probably it. All right, so K-Crush enters as commentators recap what happened during segment 1 when the whole chase around the ring that we couldn't see anyway, so there's not really much to recap. Brian Christopher with Hermie Sadler and Sterling Marlin. Sadler is wearing sweatpants and t-shirt with the sleeves cut off, so you know he's getting involved.
Oh, yeah. He looked ready.
Wes calls Sadler and Marlin by their new tag team name, the NASCAR Boys.
Hasn't been used.
Don and Ferrara argue over Crush and Christopher. Who's the hot dog and who's the showman?
It's a good debate.
That's a debate, right? They debate that as Crush sneak attacks Brian Christopher while he's celebrating on the corner for his entrance. Yay, what's going on, fans? Brian takes control with a bulldog and goes for another one, but Crush sends him crotch first into the corner. Crush does a jump, cartwheel, and split into a leg lariat.
He's so athletic.
I
athletic.
saw it, but reading it, it's like, nah, that's not possible.
He does so many impossible things.
The match turns to pure shit when Brian Christopher literally starts hulking up, runs the ropes for an enziguri, followed by a stunner, and then goes to the top rope and mimics Austin, I don't know what it is, like I'm shouting my middle finger out to you thing that he does.
But the Austin taunt.
It's the one taunt, and it's not the one where he's fingering on the ground.
Don't say that again.
No, that's the Rainbow Express match. He calls for a 10 punch in the corner, but Crush interrupts it with a Manhattan drop. Crush goes outside, or he goes to go outside, but the NASCAR boys get up on the apron and they shake the rope really hard into his crotch. And then Brian Christopher goes up for his signature top rope leg drop, the hip hop drop, and he gets the 3. Your winner and the real athlete, Brian Christopher.
Winner of the race wars.
We recap the match and then cue the dancing girls. TNA says that. Oh, I guess he's the real athlete. He's the true athlete.
That's the payoff.
Recap length, 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Match length, 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Full segment length, 11 minutes and 16 seconds. Your thoughts?
I will show you my notes as I read them to you. I have no notes for this match. It was very boring. I did not like it at all. I appreciated K-Crush as usual, but Brian Christopher actually took away from K-Crush, and I didn't enjoy any of it.
I do not like the implications of this match.
Well, that was the main thing. Where I was just
very
like,
gross.
I don't want to see a payoff to this.
And then I feel like even Edgelord Ed Ferrara knew what was happening and was like, I'm going to take a step back. You guys go ahead and do this. I'm just going to be quiet during this whole,
I'm glad that's over. And we're not going to have weeks and weeks of race war stuff.
I hope so, because I get Mike TNA he's a fucking nerd. He respects the shit out of wrestling. No matter what you tell him to do, he's going to go out there and do it because he loves wrestling. But Don West is trying to be the face. So every time Brian Christopher punched Crush in the face, he was like, yeah! I was like, whoa, dude, you are way too excited about that. You got to calm down. And then he kept, I don't know if this is his fault, because I think maybe Ed was kind of egging him on, but he kept using the stereotypical, racist defense rhetoric of well, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, or listen, he deserved what happened to him because of what he did to other people, and who, all that's because of the people he is.
Justified racism.
He was asking for it.
Oh, that is.
Oof. Just stuff like that. And look. I understand it. I get it. I understand that they're trying to say that NASCAR drivers are just as athletic as any other normal athlete, in that they need the hand-eye coordination to make those turns, those quick calculations, and they have to have fast reaction times. And, if something goes wrong on the field, in a football field, you break your leg, that sucks. But if something goes wrong on NASCAR, you might die and kill another person. It's so, I get what they're saying, but you cannot deny that this was set up as white people versus black people. You can't deny that. Nope. It is impossible to deny that.
I tried to, and I couldn't. I gave up real quick.
And then on top of that, for me personally, I don't like Brian Christopher's sneaky rat of an existence.
Yeah, I don't like him. I don't.
He is the type of guy who would sell me a car and then go drinking with me and then get too drunk and go, yo, I just sold this dummy a lemon car. And you go, that was me. And he goes, I have another round. You're like, wait a minute.
I got another car if you're interested.
Another round, another car. So post-match, they push the tag match for next week. And then they also remind you that this week we're still going to see the Rainbow Express tag match. Shamrock's going to appear, and the 4-man round robin tournament's still going to happen. So,
you're going to change the channel. You bought the pay-per-view.
Yeah. It's so weird. It's so weird. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our lingerie battle royal. The woman with the most clothes on at the end of the battle royal will be declared the winner and Miss TNA. I'm so glad he clarified that.
I thought that was the first time he clarified that.
It was. It was the absolute first time he clarified that.
Miss TNA. Wait, what?
And what's so worse than that is at the end of the match, once it's all over, TNA finally says the official name of the match.
Oh,
once it's all out, I'll wait till it's over, just like it is, so you can be like, all right, that was dumb. TNA says, also, on top of that, they're going to get a contract, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
Borash announces the women as they come out slow, but Borash keeps going, so commentary picks on him for it, because he's like, here comes Tyler.
And nobody comes out.
He's like, okay, here comes Francine. And then out comes Tyler. And she's like, but I'm Tyler.
Well, yeah, he announced her. And then she came and stood up by the top of the entranceway.
Yeah.
And just stood there. And then she started walking out. And then when she was like in the middle of the entranceway, that's when Francine just stepped out. So she said that. And then there was all messed up and not lined up.
They started making fun of him.
By the third one, he just gave up.
He stopped.
No one got announced anymore.
Erin, the cheerleader, almost busts her face on the steel steps because she runs out with a near full sprint, right?
She ran out and didn't learn from Lash LaRue. And she did not go under that cable. And she tripped on it and she almost beefed it. Yeah, she trips on that cable. I had to rewind it. And she almost beefed it hard.
It would have been all face. It was like all face on metal.
Yeah, it was either the post or the stairs. She was going to face plant right on it.
That spot that WWE's been trying to do recently where Rey Mysterio lost his eye? That would have been the real spot. It would have been bad.
And with a Baltimore cheerleader. Or Baltimore Ravens. She's not just from Baltimore.
She's a cheerleader of all of Baltimore. So everybody is out and in the ring. The bell rings, and Don West, why can't you just be someone I like, Don? Just be somebody I like. Don West says, is this what goes on when girls have pajama parties?
Oh my God, I know.
Not women, girls. Yeah. Ed replies, if so, I'm going to have to get me some of those hidden cameras I see on the internet.
This is all, I guarantee you, Vince Russo, too.
Yo, it's awful. I hate it. Teresa Tyler, who only goes by Tyler this week, is stripped down to her black Borat-style one-piece bikini.
I thought she was naked at first.
I did, yeah. Because when they tore her top open, it looked like she had nothing on or anything. I was like,
and there was absolutely no back. It was strapped right above her neck. So I was like,
what is happening? So yeah, she runs out. We see a tattoo on her butt, and of course the guys creep on it. Ooh, well, look at that tattoo. I'd like to be that tattoo, or whatever. So whatever. Sasha is eliminated while wearing a white two-piece lace bra and undies with a thong underneath for modesty protection, just in case.
Everyone has something very nice underneath, even though they didn't want to get stripped.
No. Well, actually, Erin is eliminated wearing a black two-piece lace bra and undies without a thong underneath. So it's extra, vroom, vroom, hubba, hubba, yum, yum, wow, wow.
And it's black, so you know what that means. Black underwear.
Means she's DTF.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
Right now, for me. Let's go. Oh, sorry, I took it too little. I learned from Ed Farrar last show. I thought that was happening. So she jogs to the back. Erin jogs to the back, confirming that she has very low breasts.
Yeah.
And I almost pass out from blood loss because I'm pretty sure she pops out of her top a little bit.
I've had to check, but
I checked twice and I was like, all right, now I'm being weird with it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, either she did or she didn't. If I gotta look, she did.
I was fact checking, but like after the third time, it's like, what are you really doing?
What are you really doing here? What's going on? So there's 6 women left. 2 hold up Francine, and Elektra rips open her top, and then the girls are shocked, and Elektra closes Francine's top. And then Francine makes a cover-up motion like she's stuffing her boob back in her top.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, when they went to grab that shirt, they grabbed the bikini and ripped it off. Because the other girl doesn't, you can't see her face, but Shannon, immediately, you see, she covers her face. She's like, oh my God. Like, I think she got exposed, but you couldn't see.
But, I mean, the thing about it is Francine's a professional.
No,
so
she's really good, though.
Wearing nipple tape.
Well,
so even if I feel like nothing got exposed, I feel like
that
it was a spot.
that was the thing too, because it wasn't even when she fixed it. Like one was obviously one, I don't know what you call it. One side of her bra was higher up, and the other one was a lot lower. But she was trying to fix it and wouldn't move, so it could have been like someone grabbed it and then put it back down so the tape wasn't moving again. She was trying to fix it and she couldn't.
I don't know. I think it was a spot. I don't think she was really exposed. I
believe that too, though. I believe that too.
I think it was a very good spot. So Miss Joni. Oh wait. Yeah. No. First, sorry. Francine is eliminated. They pull all her stuff off, and she has a lacy red and black 2-piece that she's spilling out of in every direction. Miss Joni is eliminated. Black 2-piece with garter belt and stockings. Ed Ferrara mentions that Francine used to be on top and now she isn't, so she needs this job bad. Just like, wow! Good Lord, Ed! We cut to her crying at the end of the ramp, and Ferrara's like, I'm gonna go console her, and runs away. He gets way too handsy with her. And
he picks her up and just puts his hand completely on her breast.
He picks her up by the boob.
Yeah.
He literally picks her up by the boob. She grabs his hand so he can't pull it away to be like, oh, like obviously it's there. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then she decides to give him a blowjob in front of everyone.
Just slowly gets down on her knees and she's going to blow him. All right, this is happening.
Psych! She beats him with a belt.
I like how one fan knew it was coming. Like right on hard guy. He's like, yeah, I knew it. He got me. I don't know.
TNA says what might be the best innuendo / turn of phrase so far in the history of TNA, which is, hey, wait a minute. I thought the winner of this match got a job at TNA.
Oh, I missed that
got
one.
A job.
Yeah,
at TNA.
I missed that one. Damn.
While commentary and the cameras are completely focused on Ed being beaten by a belt, no one sees or mentions or even recalls after the fact that both Alexis Lurie and Shannon are eliminated.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember seeing Shannon eliminated.
You can barely hear JB go, Shannon's eliminated. Alexis Lurie eliminated. When Francine's going down to give Ed the blowjob, you can see some body pass in front of the camera. I think that's Alexis Lurie.
Okay.
But it's just like,
whoever
that's all we got. That's all we got. Taylor Vaughn and Elektra high-five each other in the ring, and then they realize they're the only ones left. So Elektra tries to run, but Taylor Vaughn just stops her and strips her, like without any, like literally stops her, turns her around, rips her top off without any restraint.
Well, she's like an Amazon. She's got a good like 1.5 feet on her,
I guess. And then Elektra holds onto the ropes, and her pants are taken off, and it's like, oh, Taylor Vaughn wins. But then what?
So Taylor Vaughn won.
Yeah, Taylor Vaughn won and is the new Miss TNA and is the only woman here who has a contract in TNA. Well, the only woman here, yeah.
She didn't get any mic time.
Nope.
She didn't get any recognition of a push.
Nope.
She literally was one of the only girls that didn't get an entrance. She was the last one that came out, and she was right behind someone that was like all on camera. And then you just saw her walk up the stairs. You barely saw her.
Yikes.
They barely mentioned her on commentary, and she won.
Wow.
I was completely surprised that she won. 100%.
Yeah, no, it didn't make any sense compared to what you had or what's going to appear in the future either. So Francine puts her shirt back on and then gets in the ring and strips Taylor Vaughn down to her blue undies with a blue safety thong and beats her with a belt that she sells like pure death until it stops, at which point she walks away like nothing happened.
Yeah. Why her? Oh my God.
So match length 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Segment length 9 minutes and 6 seconds. That's 6 seconds. Your thoughts?
My thoughts is I fucking hate referee Slick Johnson. He touched her ass twice while trying to protect her from the belting, and then walked away with her with his arm around her shoulder all the way up the entrance ramp like he was cool. I fucking hate him.
The only thing I was gonna say is that one of the time he touches her ass did sort of look like an accident. One time it sort of looked like an accident.
Maybe.
The other time it didn't look like an accident.
No, the first time it was not. But my actual thoughts on the match was it was very clear what it was. I couldn't watch what was happening because every single time a woman got eliminated, they kept the camera on her the entire time she went up the entrance ramp.
Right, because that's.
And then by the time she was at the top, someone else got eliminated, and they kept the camera on her the entire time. So I couldn't see any of the cat fighting that was happening, because
Right.
that's exactly what was happening. The only people I did like was Shannon and Mickey, because they're the only ones that were actually working. If you watch them, they were
Right.
actually looked like they were working a match to some degree.
That's yes. I have pretty much the same feelings as you, which is that well, first off, I don't like battle royals. I've said that last week. They weren't planned very well, so I don't like battle royals. Did you even notice that Taylor Vaughn and Elektra were working together in the match? They high fived 2 or 3 times in the match. They were working together the whole match.
I guess.
No, they were. I saw them. They were.
I didn't.
Yeah,
no, I didn't
that's what I
notice.
mean.
Like I said, I noticed a lot of the girls walking away from getting eliminated.
That's what I mean.
That's all the camera was on.
What is Miss TNA? What does that do? Because if you think about it for 1 second, right? This woman who won is now Miss TNA. She now has a contract. What does she do with it? There are no other contracted women for her to fight.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess you just fight non-contracted women.
There's no women.
And you lose your contract if you lose. And they only have enough to contract one woman. And you have to fight for your contract and your title.
I just don't get it. Yeah, I don't. But
I wouldn't mind that if they actually made that known.
Yeah, they should, yeah. If they would have just said that this is for a downside guarantee.
Yeah,
like
and everyone else gets hired show by show if you're lucky.
Exactly. And then I also want to say my full-on adolescent horny teen male thoughts on this match. Yo, fuck you! I came here to see Shannon and Alexis Lurie half naked, and I didn't see a fucking thing. I thought I was gonna see Ed Ferrara's dick. The last thing I would goddamn see. So I fucking hate this match. I fucking hate TNA. I will never again be tricked by TNA when it comes to women, because this was the first time they told me that they were going to give me scantily clad women, and they failed to deliver. The first time they failed to deliver.
I told you at the first show when they were just making nothing but like dick jokes and penis references, and I was just like, but what about all the TNA stuff that you're supposed to be doing?
No.
That's the in-between filler.
No,
that's the girls in the cages, and that's all you get.
Yeah. That was the note I was missing from last match, which I have it here as this match, which is Francine and Taylor Vaughn are the only women in this match that you will see again.
Oh.
However, though, Alexis Lurie and Shannon will show up again, but not till 2003. So that, like, from this match, Taylor Vaughn and Francine are the only ones that appear. The other ones technically go away, do other stuff, and then I guess get rehired based off of that.
Yeah,
because that would make more sense.
I would assume Francine would have been there.
They were pushing the crap out of her.
Yeah.
And then the note I forgot, which was in segment 3, I think, the Cheeks match.
Mm-hmm.
Cheeks and Frank Parker. I didn't say it, although it was obvious. Last appearance in TNA.
Oh yeah,
they do not show up again.
I don't remember them.
I don't think I said that, but it's obvious that's so. Post match, now that it's over, Mike Tenay finally says, "I'm glad you joined us for the first ever Valet Invitational Lingerie Battle Royale."
Wait, so they're all valets?
They're not
Valet
even wrestlers.
Invitational.
They're not even supposed to be wrestling. They're valets.
They were, first of all, they were not wrestling.
I know, but
they were just inside of a wrestling ring.
That's the thing. Like, if you would have said that at the beginning, I would have been like, oh, of course, I won't expect a fucking thing from Francine or Alexis Lurie or Shannon, or of course not. No, they had to lie to me. And another thing, I think they lied to these women, because it's obvious to me that this match is about seeing women in bra and panties. But those women cannot wait to get up that ramp and go in the back.
Yeah.
They're not standing around being like, look at me, because this is what I was fucking paid for, obviously. No. So I also
disgusted looks.
I think on top of that, they exploited them. I think they lied to them about what they hired them for.
Whoops.
And then, exploited them for it. Yep. Yay, TNA.
Russo.
Can't wait to buy the next show, right? Doesn't even just show up on TV. I have to pay for it. I have to go out of my way to buy to see the next show, and they're not trying to sell it to me very well. Segment 7, the precocious Goldilocks is what they call her, is backstage with Apollo. They start a promo, but it's interrupted by Bobcat. She says that her guy is the future of the company, not this guy. Never says the name of either guy. I don't know.
Or her own name?
No.
Right?
Nobody says anyone's name. I don't know who anyone is in this I know Apollo because Goldilocks said it, and I know Goldilocks because Tenay said it, but that's it.
And she was on the first show. I like how she has the mic, And the other girl walks up to her and she's like, no one cares, blah, blah, blah. And she just takes the mic back, Goldie. And she's like, okay, well, and then gives her back the mic. Like that was all of her response. No one cut her off. That's what she wanted to say and gave her back the mic.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah. she says, look, if you have a complaint, take it up with management. She's like, I'm taking it up with you. And Goldie just goes, I'm cutting this interview. It's over.
Poor Apollo.
Yeah. Segment length 45 seconds. Is that those your only thoughts? Poor Apollo.
Poor Apollo, and then Goldie is the best female talent they have on the entire roster.
Yeah, and
being misused.
I currently have more respect for her than I do Slick because she knows when to cut an interview, unlike referee Slick Johnson, who has no clue when to cut a match.
It looked like she respected her job, and she was doing it properly.
Yeah. The only thing I did get from this interview, is that Apollo recently moved to Orlando.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I learned from him. Tonight, I hear for one thing, I moved to Orlando, interrupted. So that's the only thing I got from him.
He moved there for that job.
Yo, if they don't hire him, it's so fucked up. He moved from Puerto Rico to Orlando for them, and then they don't hire him.
He looks great. They have to.
I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure they do, but I'm just saying. If they don't...
Unless Conmen gets his fingers on him.
Ooh. Right on his traps. Segment 8. Not Smooth by Rob Thomas and Santana play.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was. It was cool. Yeah. Apollo comes out. That's his music. And then Bobcat comes out with her man because they really don't make David Young the focus at all. But yeah, it's David Young with Bobcat. And as they enter, Ferrara is like, hey, Bobcat's dressed like a prostitute. I'm just like, come on, guys. So the commentary team puts over Apollo as the first man to knock down Malice in the Gauntlet for the gold and a very impressive wrestler as he performs moves like a stalling tilt-a-whirl slam and a double underhook suplex.
Apollo is one of the strongest men I've ever seen in my life.
You stall a tilt-a-whirl.
First of all, he did that stalling tilt-a-whirl slam with only his hands.
Yeah.
He did not do that with his arms or anything. He purely had him in just his two hands and then just put him down. And I was like, sign him. Sign him now and put him in the main event.
Stop the match to sign him.
Yeah.
You're hired. You're hired.
Run out there with a contract.
Don't ruin it. Mike mentions his Puerto Rican basketball background, and he mentions this Puerto Rican basketball background as a foundation for his jumping skills. That's why he can jump over someone when they run the ropes. The rest of the wrestlers, I don't know where they get it from. He also mentions that David Young started wrestling at 16.
Is that allowed?
I don't know. It depends what and where you're doing, I guess. Bobcat starts walking around the ring, flicking her boa at fans, specifically JB.
I'm already tired of her.
Right? David Young takes control of the match as Bobcat does another lap and goes back to JB with the boa. I was just like, what the hell?
I had the same thoughts as Ed Ferrara. I was, what is with JB and all these women coming over to him?
Yeah. I love it though, because as she's like messing with him, she's like unbuttoning his shirt. He's holding his hands up like he's being robbed at gunpoint. Like he's like, I don't want this. I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want this.
Saying that.
I don't want this.
I do not want this. I'm on camera. You hear me.
So a series of standing holds by David Young as Apollo occasionally breaks out with a strike. Young hits his finisher, which is a spine buster, like AA style. And then he immediately goes on the top rope and focuses on Bobcat with JB. Like just loses his attention and just goes, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And then goes for a moonsault. Like doesn't even
look back again.
Just goes for a moonsault. Apollo hits a super kick followed by a TKO, and that's the 3. And I'm almost positive 2 songs play.
Oh yeah,
I'm almost positive. It was like some other song, and then I think it was both songs. I think it was both David Young's and Smooth. Match length 5 minutes 28 seconds. Segment length 7 minutes 35 seconds. Your thoughts?
I do not like Bobcat. She did her job. She was very annoying. I get his gimmick. So David Young, is that his name? Darren Young?
David Young, yeah.
He did his job. He was like, what? I'm supposed to be the star. Stop distracting. Or he was jealous or whatever he was doing.
Yeah, it was something like
that. They
did
did their jobs. I didn't like it though. I don't know if they didn't do their jobs because I didn't care, or if it's just like I don't care about that gimmick to begin with. But and Apollo looked amazing. I loved everything Apollo did. So I half like this segment, I don't like David Young. I don't care if he ever shows up again.
No.
Apollo, I hope he gets pushed to the moon.
Okay. Yeah.
And the cameras and the directors suck. Because
Yeah.
there was constant things where they're looking at Bobcat and Apollo just does a suicide dive and the cameras miss it completely.
Right. I don't know what it is about this gimmick, but it is 100% clear to me that this is a parody gimmick of Tammy Cinch, aka Sunny, and Chris Candido.
Oh, that's 100% what that
It
gimmick is.
I don't know if it's because I remember this from because I've watched this before, I remember it, but it screams.
Did they ever do that in WWF? They did it in ECW, right?
make fun of Sunny?
No, that gimmick.
What?
Sonny and
Oh,
Candido.
them?
Yeah.
In I mean, they
They
were the
did it-
Body Donnas, but that's...
I know, but they didn't do that gimmick.
They didn't do
did
the
in
Chris
ECW,
Candido,
though.
no gimmick needed with Tammy
Yeah,
Cinch
yeah,
type.
yeah.
No,
That
they
was
didn't
only
do
in
that.
ECW.
Yeah, that was, So, yeah, that's how I feel. And then post-match, Bobcat gets in the ring and starts running around like it's all about her. And the commentators are confused by this and want to know what she is smoking. This is a VHS only clip, which is they tell you to check out the NWA website because it's changed. So they don't, like on the streaming sites, they don't do that anymore. Like when they
okay,
block
yeah,
out the phone number. Yeah, so they
Yeah.
took that out. Don't worry about it because the Internet Archives do not have any updates for the website until December. So I can't tell you a thing about what's
Not
going
yet.
on. Yeah. Segment 9. Whoo, yo, if you want to take a break, folks, do it now because you are about to experience a lot. You are about to experience 11 people, 6 gimmicks, 3 teams, and only one light at the end of the tunnel. And it's a long tunnel.
It's not the best of lights.
It's not. Yeah, seriously, if you want to take a break, do it now. Segment 9.
Well,
No joke. I was typing something while holding something in my hand, just kind of doing some notes, and I heard, "Wha-" and I instinctually threw what I had in my hand up in the air and went, fuck.
So you recognize who it is
He
immediately.
is so good
Yep.
at being annoying
Yep.
that all he has to do is walk in the room and I go, son of a bitch, I gotta go. This is gonna suck. The quintessential stud muffin Joel Gertner interviews himself,
Yep, he always does.
asking, Joel, why do you hang out with the Rainbow Express? They're gay.
Fair question.
The second the word gay is said, hashtag not my commentator, Don West, immediately and uninterrupted says, enough already! Move on with the show! We don't care!
Yeah, he's talking over him a lot of the times too.
He couldn't wait to tell him that he's not interested in the gay life. Oh my God. So Joel Gertner says a bunch of stuff, including many people with alternative lifestyles. That's an outdated phrase at this point. Many people have alternative lifestyles, and some of them are better than you. I don't care what they do in the bedroom. I only care what they do in the ring. Here they come.
I was confused by his phrasing because I felt like he was rhyming and then he wasn't rhyming, and then he was rhyming and then he wasn't rhyming anymore.
Yeah,
and I was hard to follow at times.
I don't...
Especially because in the beginning, he was doing his little spiel. He was like, I don't need a writer, and I'm a lover, not a fighter. And then he was like, people always ask me, why do you hang out with them? They're gay. And I was like, oh, that didn't rhyme. That didn't rhyme at all.
it seemed like he kept bouncing back and forth between, I'm a guy with a great shtick and gays are people, seriously.
Yeah, and then he got
Don't-
serious.
Don't fuck around because I'm a rhyming machine, if you know what I mean. And what I mean is that this hatred needs to stop right now. Everyone can live together in peace.
I felt like he was trying to be a professional and do his job, but you can obviously tell he didn't want to do this.
Yeah,
And he was just trying. Finger quotes.
Once again, another person hired on the show looked very uncomfortable doing the job they were hired to do. Exploited.
And why does he say the Rainbow Express the way he does?
How's he say it?
Because he just did his whole normal promo in his normal tone, and then
Yeah.
Lenny and Bruce, the Rainbow Express. I was like, what just happened there at the end?
Yeah, I don't know. So they enter, and TNA lies to us by saying this tag team was deemed too controversial for WCW in late 1999. I already clarified this in the video version of the last episode. They never tag together.
Well, they're apparently a 3-man team.
Yeah, but the thing is that Lenny and Lodi, that was them. They did that. They were taken off TV because the whole gay thing.
That's the team.
But Bruce, aka Kwee, aka Chi-Chi, aka Alan Funk, aka
Yeah.
the Funkster, aka Queen Herod, has never long-term teamed with anyone in his entire career besides Lenny Lane for this gimmick.
Yeah, like Buff Bagwell, Booker T, part of the most controversial faction of all time, NWO.
For
It's
a
a group. They're all in it.
But he hasn't been in it yet. He hasn't showed up. He's not here. He's not gonna show up.
He's not, right?
Spoiler alert. He's not gonna show
I
up.
didn't
He was
think so.
injured the week before this show,
Yeah,
and he's gonna be injured.
they said
forever.
They said he hurt his neck and he's out for 8 months, but he's going to join them eventually.
No, he doesn't.
That's
He
what they said
doesn't.
on commentary.
Or I should clarify. If he does, he never wrestles. Maybe he makes an appearance, but he never wrestles. So, just like last week, it's the same thing. Like what we are defending right now. They spend their entire time going, Lodi is coming. Lodi's gonna be here soon. Think about how great it is when Lodi gets here. Like that's 100% what they do.
Yep.
JB announces the opponents, the Dups. Nobody comes out. We go backstage to what I'm gonna have to guess is the Goldilocks show.
He's already ready.
Because Stan is talking to Fluff, and Goldilocks is just standing there, no microphone. She's just hanging out next to them. The Dups refuse to wrestle alternative lifestyle left-winger hippies. Because they're all, the old twisty palm?
Old twisty palm.
Balance issues? I don't know.
Well, the old
Yeah, that stuff. Goldilocks just walks away from them.
I would too.
And the camera follows her, which is why I presume it's the Goldilocks show. And she walks over to NWA Vice President Bill Behrens, who's asking 2 rando jobbers who are about to leave for the night if they can replace the Dups in their match. No time to change, just take off your shirts and go.
NWA rules. No shirts allowed.
No shirts allowed.
If you have a great body.
Yes.
Cheeks, keep your shirt on.
Yeah. Although also, you can wear a shirt if that shirt is flesh toned. Because the Johnsons are fine wearing a full body flesh.
And no rules apply to Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what's going on there.
It's his world. Just take your shirts off and get out there.
So yeah. Take your shit. Yeah. Don't worry about your stuff. I'll put it in the back. You gonna steal my stuff?
Is this like a cornet situation? Like, why do I have to take my shirt off? Is there really a wrestling match going on?
Yeah.
Is that just your wife over there?
When you say wrestle, is that a metaphor? So commentary casually mentions that there's going to be a tag team tournament next week as the boys rush to the ring. Those boys, by the way, are James Storm and Wildcat Chris Harris, who are just 2 rando jobbers at this point. Not a team, just random guys.
Could be a good team. Who knows? Don West did claim that he saw both of them have a singles match, like right before this match.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the greatest singles matches he've ever seen, which I'm assuming was management, which is why they're teaming up right now.
I don't know. Well, I actually, because I am on a full-blown fuck you Don West mode, I looked it up. It was a real match. It did happen.
Yeah.
NWA Wildside. Chris Harris won like the national title from James Storm or something like that. Like it was a big match apparently.
Okay.
So it was a real match. It was a big blow-off match. I don't know how good it was, but it probably was. I've seen him wrestle before.
I highly doubt that Don West went there. That's why I'm assuming it's a management note that he's forced to read.
That is more, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense then. Yes, probably. So the boys rush to the ring. Bruce is taken out. Storm bulldogs Lenny, followed by a spinning kick. Lenny then takes control with a tornado DDT and tags in Bruce. Not a high tag, not a low tag, but a kiss to the hand tag. Don West loses his shit.
Yes, he does.
Don't push it off on us.
Don't
push it off on us. He literally yells it twice like that.
You could do whatever you want, but don't push it off on us.
Don't push it off on us.
What is that? How many times are we going to see people kiss in a TNA ring and he's not going to comment on it? And another man kissed another man's hand. You're just pushing it off, trying to make us all gay. Stop making me aroused by looking at that.
Think about my frogs. You're turning my frogs gay. I don't want to, but I am very sort of slightly behind Don West on this point, because technically speaking, it is unnecessary. because he grabs his hand and kisses him. And after the kiss, the ref goes, tag. No.
He touched his hand right there.
That's the tag. They're wasting time right there with the kiss, literally, to shove their lifestyle in our face. Like, Don West is right now. Like, what's his name? Joel Gertner? He should be upset. He said, I don't care what they do in the bedroom. I care what they do in the ring. They're wasting time in the ring.
It should be all
business. You
business.
should be upset about this. I don't like that they're tricking me into hating this gay team.
Well, that's Ed Ferrara's comment, that he believes they're doing the old Goldust gimmick, where they're just getting in your head.
I guess. But then that makes Don West right in a way. Like, I don't know. Whatever. So, while all of that stuff, all that argument is happening, the Rainbow Express go for a double team on Storm. Harris runs in with a head scissors to Lenny Lane. The ref and Harris argue as the Rainbow Express do a suggestive double team move to Storm.
The ambiguously gay double team move.
Yeah, we're like, one guy kneels in front of the guy laying down, the other guy lays down on top of the guy laying down, and they both beat him with their hands, but for some reason they thrust their hips while they're beating him with their hands. So it's like sandwich.
Bruce has a handful of his head, and he's banging his head into the ground, and it's really close to his head.
It's really close to his groin.
Oh yeah, he's really close. Yeah,
his groin. So it's like he's kind of giving him the old something. I don't know. And then the other guy's behind him. Just behind
all
him.
I think of is the ambiguously gay duo. Just everyone else watching them, like, that looks.
Is that a little? This is the best way to perform the Heimlich maneuver. That wasn't supposed to be Mike Tenay. I really thought that's the way the ambiguous gay duo sounded. All right. So Don continues that if they want to wrestle with everyone else, then they need to wrestle fair. They don't get special rules just because they're special people. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
Meanwhile, he's like cheering Toby Keith getting in the ring.
Right.
Or whatever his name is.
Lenny does his suggestive pin, followed by a hand kiss tag, and Don West says, I'm gonna be sick.
I'm gonna vomit.
Bruce tags Lodi by getting on his knee before doing the kiss thing. And Mike Tenay's like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that in 40 years of wrestling. And I'm like, really? Like Adrian Adonis never did something like that to him? Like, really?
He probably did.
That's what I feel like that's bound to have happened. I mean, Mike Tenay's right. He's never seen it.
But his most famous tag team partner was Dick Murdoch, and I highly doubt Dick Murdoch would allow that to happen, so...
Not even like on the blow-off match? Like,
no.
He kisses his hand, he's like, you motherfucker! And then that's it, that's a feud. So, Lenny gets Storm in, you can't call it any other way. It's a straight-up Walls of Jericho. It's an elevated Boston Crab. It is a full-on Walls of Jericho.
Oh, you didn't hear what Tenay called it?
What did he call it?
The Tiger Tamer.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, you are right. The Tiger Tamer.
Chris Harris does this weird, almost heel-like trick where he gets in the ring, and that makes Bruce get in the ring. So then Chris Harris immediately gets out of the ring and goes, ref, look! And the ref goes after Bruce, and then Chris Harris gets in the ring and breaks up the fucking...
It's like a video game strategy right there.
I was like, I was like, what the fuck? That was impressive.
Got him.
I still don't see that today by heels or... I was impressed. So Harris gives him a clothesline, gets him out of the submission hold. Don West is happy that Harris is finally fighting the same level as him now. And I'm like, oh, really? All right. Hot tag to Chris Harris, and Ferrara says Lenny and Bruce are not impressive as a tag team. I'm like, why are you doing this, Ferrara? Why are you putting yourself over? Storm does the old, I'll pull your leg and your face is going to fall into the apron, even though your legs hit the floor, whatever.
Well, no, he pulled him pretty hard. It looked like his toes actually missed the floor.
Oh, okay.
And he landed on the apron.
He did it the right way.
And landed on his knees after, yeah.
Don West screams, yeah! You won't be kissing anybody with those lips! Ferrara, I love Ferrara's
That was
defense.
my favorite line.
I love his defense. Maybe, maybe not. Why are you so obsessed with kissing?
He flipped out on him, though. Why are you so hung up on him kissing people? What the hell?
He's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh, the Rainbow Express bonk heads on a kick out, and then Harris gets the pin. Don West is ecstatic. Yeah! Ferrara flat out just asks him, why are you so excited? Did you have something against Lenny and Bruce being gay that you didn't want them to win?
Exactly.
And Don West is like, but Tenay's like, oh, let's go to the replay.
Ooh, saved him. Saved him.
At the end of the replay, they show that one kneeling tag kiss, and Don's like, ah!
Oh, they do it in slow-mo, too.
Yeah. As they walk up the ramp, you can see how fucking ripped Chris Harris is.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he is.
Match length, 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Segment length, 10 minutes and 5 seconds. Your thoughts?
They worked good as a tag team, AMW.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the crowd did not care about them at all. Anytime they got a hot tag or did something, it was pretty quiet. Yeah. I guess they just hated the Rainbow Express so much, but didn't even care that someone else was beating them up. They just wanted to yell at them.
I thought they looked good.
I thought they looked good too. That's what I'm saying. But
real
I
good.
was listening to the crowd, and the crowd did not care at all.
That's a shame.
And I don't like how they're booking the Rainbow Express. I feel like it's half of what I want and half of what wrestling is for gay stereotypes. It was almost there for me. But
yeah, it's crazy to me that we just saw like the full-on future of tag team wrestling, and it was a casual throw together team, a casual throw together team that was for the lead up of a double gimmick blow-off match.
Oh yeah,
because technically we're building towards the Dups versus the Rainbow Express, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
So they were a throw together team that was a replacement and a blow-off. Like
and they're gonna be way bigger than both of them.
Yeah, way bigger than any of them.
Yeah.
Even after they break up as a tag team, it's still like. So then I have, because you said that you don't understand what you're supposed to do with the Rainbow Express.
Yeah, they're doing like too many things.
Legit question: how would you book the Rainbow Express then? What do you want from them?
I wanted what they were doing in the beginning, like when they first introduced them. They're like, what they do is their own business, and they're just wrestlers. And then when the other team came out, I love Bruce and his viciousness. Like he did the hand thing where he kissed people, whatever. Like
fine,
I felt like that's the old school hokey wrestling thing where it's like everyone's supposed to be like, ugh, and then boo it. Like come on, then now you're just trashing gay people then. But the fact that he was just like so vicious and like it wasn't like a stereotypical gay person where he's like Adrian Adonis flaunting around the ring. He was just being vicious and doing these moves. And I was like, that's what I want. I want like, yeah, everyone know they are gay, but look how fucking awesome they are in the ring. That's what I want. You don't have to make it their gimmick.
You don't have like you can actually keep doing it though. If like let's say Lenny Lane was a little more flamboyant and then Bruce was the aggressive one and like Bruce did the hand thing, but he did it like a real quick peck, like boom, get him in, got it.
Yeah.
Like, but he still did that.
He did like the crawl on the mat to like cover someone. He like seductively laid on his body. I was like, there's a little too much gold dust for me. And they could have still done the hand thing.
And it takes away from what we already saw, which is his aggressiveness.
Yeah, exactly.
If they did it where one was aggressive and one was more in your face about it, then it would be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm almost there for it, but it's Vince Russo is still in charge.
I don't know how to book them like as a gay team. So I go, unfortunately, what I'm going to have to guess is more into the Russo style of things, which is I would book them as they search in TNA for who the most attractive tag team is. And then they help that tag team become the NWA champions so that when they challenge for the titles, they're the ones they get to touch in the ring.
No,
I know it's awful. I know it's awful. It's awful.
No, I don't condone that.
I know, but that's the best I could do. It's heel, so they keep coming out interfering in matches and go, "Yeah, we want you to win, baby." And then the faces are like, "Yo, we're trying to win the titles, and these guys are harassing us. What do we do?"
So it's kind of like Rico, but if like Rico was also the tag team champions.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I feel like that's the only thing you could do with that, which is why the only other thing you can do with it is what you said, which is just have them be gay and then that's another, besides that, they also wrestle. Like those things are not connected in any way. It's just real life.
You can show that they're gay, like in how they are, almost like Sunny Kiss. Like obviously Sunny Kiss is different, but it's not like wrapped in to the gimmick.
And that was the kayfabe question, but then there's still more after the kayfabe question, which is post-match. Ed continues to put over the Rainbow Express by saying, get over it, get over them. They are world-class athletes who just happened to give up a win tonight on national television.
Yeah.
I was just like, stop going into business for yourself, Ed! You don't have to do that!
Laugh at me.
All right, segment 10. Dignity is exemplified by Ricky Steamboat. That's what Tenay because that's how he introduces the segment.
Okay.
Come on, Brother Skylar. You don't know what this is? It couldn't be more simple, Brother Skylar. Do you want me to show Ricky Steamboat to the cat and have Ernest the Cat Miller tell you who he is? Because the cat's gonna get it.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm not as smart as you, Jimmy Time. We didn't all go to Hobble, Alabama College.
It's dignity. Ah, don't you even know dignity when you see Ricky Steamboat?
You're spitting on me.
Steamboat is in the ring and he does the most dignified thing possible and panders for claps by saying, let me ask you something. Has this been one heck of a show? Huh? Are we all having a good time? Huh?
He got a little bit of a response.
He did. He got
a little bit of a response.
Well, it's Ricky Steamboat. You got to at least be...
Why was he wearing the ref shirt?
He was a ref in the...
That wasn't explained.
No.
He just came out and he was still wearing the ref shirt. I was like, is that from last week?
Or did he put it on prematurely?
Even though Jeff Jarrett was wearing a whole different attire in the last show and now has a whole different attire this show, but he's still wearing that ref shirt. I was so confused.
But not Sterling Martin or Sterling Marlin. He was still wearing his blue denim tuxedo from the last week, and he didn't change at all. He did not.
Well, come on, man! I'm gonna bring one pair of things. How many things I'm gonna bring, my man?
Power. So Ricky Steamboat introduces the NWA champion Ken Shamrock as TNA lists former champions that Shamrock has now joined the ranks of as the champion. We cut back to those same drunk girls from segment 1.
Yep.
They are in full woo mode, which is why I don't think they're plants.
They're gone.
Because they are in full
Well, they're always holding a cup in their hand.
Yeah.
And it's always at different levels.
That's what I mean.
Not always descending. Sometimes it's full again.
They're barely open. They the woo is they need to find the energy to get it out. So Steamboat immediately botches his promo once again by saying, this man has now joined the ranks of a very selected few wrestlers in the history of our business, that immortal line of wrestlers that are now... He is now known as the NWA Heavyweight Champion.
And then right at that point, he lost the entire promo.
Yeah.
Because he just started saying cliche lines and rambling. Like, they gave him a list of keywords to mention.
They can't take that away from you.
And he was just listing off the keywords he had to mention without even actually putting them in a sentence. I was like, what is he rambling about up there?
It gets worse, in my opinion, because then Shamrock gets on the mic.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, I'm going to defend this belt with honor and pride. I have been all over the world.
And then in the middle of that, it cuts to the crowd and they're clapping, but you hear zero clapping.
That happens a lot. I gotta be honest. That happens a lot where I hear the crowd going, yeah! And I look at the crowd and I'm like,
there's
no one's moving.
It's dead quiet right now.
Nobody's moving. Yeah. So he goes, I have been all over the world. Japan. That's enough. Stops listening. I have been all over the United States. Puerto Rico. That's enough. Again, let me move on. I am the NWA champion. If you're behind me, I appreciate you. If not, kiss my ass.
It was a horrible promo. One of the worst promos I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's probably got to be up there with the worst promos I've ever heard by a world heavyweight champion.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Bret Hart cuts a better promo than Ken Shamrock.
Well, yeah. Come on. How dare you hate Bret Hart like that? Who are you to doubt Bret Hart?
El Bret Harto. Yo. Count Vicky Guerrero enters the arena because we hear, excuse me, followed by stereotypical vampire pipe organ music.
And that was it. Just like it played him in.
Yeah, because there was no beat behind it. It was just the...
He's already there talking.
Oh, okay. Father James Mitchell says he has to...
I'm already laughing because of what he says.
Everything he says is gold. Sometimes it's good gold, sometimes it's bad gold, but it's all gold.
He started a promo, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is the best promo of both shows so far. This is wonderful. And as I was saying that,
it's like, ooh, it's a roller coaster of a promo. I get apparently. So he says that he had to stop the show, or he had to interrupt the show to stop himself from vomiting. And he wants all you crackers in Huntsville to quiet down. I was just like, whoa!
He really called everyone a cracker.
Wow! He announces that he's on a mission from God. Mind you, not your God, my God. And that mission is to control the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, I mean, I'm not a god. What do I know? Mitchell says Ken Shamrock is the world's most dangerous man, so he challenges him to a match against one of his members of the Disciples of the New Church. And then he introduces Slash.
Don West ruined that, though.
What did he say?
Because he was like, and I got someone for you to fight. And Don was like, oh, I bet it's Malice.
Yeah.
He was like, and I'm going to tell him to come out right now. Oh, I hope it's Malice. You guys think it's Malice? I hope it's Malice. And then he's like, it's Slash. He's like, oh, Slash. And he was so disappointed.
Jesus.
And I was like, way to ruin it.
All right. Doesn't matter. Gets worse. Because Shamrock immediately says, this is a joke, right? And he goes, let's go. I'll fight him right now. Keep in mind, right now, Ken Shamrock is wearing surfer shorts and sandals.
I saw that when he laid the belt down. I'm like, what are those shoes he's wearing? Like water shoes or
Yeah,
sandals?
like open-toed something, yeah. Mitchell says he wants Shamrock to face Malice, and Malice attacks Shamrock from behind, hits him with a huge choke slam, and then really big choke slam, and then chokes him until Mitchell calls him off. Music plays as Mitchell says, "Might is right, and the meek shall inherit nothing." Segment length 7 minutes 35 seconds. Your thoughts?
Oh, James Mitchell is so good on the mic.
Yeah.
He made me so interested. Everyone just starts saying things and talking, like Shamrock with his generic wrestling promo. But then he like starts somewhere, he brings you in. It's interesting the way he's saying it and the adjectives and words he uses. So I just love him and I can't wait. I love that he's going to be a main character without wrestling. Like he's going to have a whole stable of people, and that's my favorite kind of manager, where he's like, I want the World Heavyweight Championship for my group. Like as long as someone in my group has it, that means I have it. Right. That's what I like. Yes. That's why I always liked, what was his name?
Bobby Heenan?
Heenan, yeah. And then of the Horsemen.
JJ Dillon?
Dillon, yeah, JJ. Yeah. I kept wanting to say Double J, but I'm like, that's Jeff Jarrett. But I feel like there is two J's. Yeah. It was confusing me.
Double J Dillon. What?
Yeah, where they also want the World Heavyweight title themselves personally. Yes. I like that.
Yeah. My thoughts are, I can't wait for, not necessarily next week, but just to have a TNA show without celebrities and like legends.
Oh, yeah.
Just the wrestlers on the show doing their thing. That's what I want. I'm tired of seeing Jackie Fargo strut and hearing Steamboat mess up his lines and all that. Like,
it's funny because the next segment is the only part of both shows that I felt was a wrestling show, and I was like, this is what I want TNA to be, like the main event. That is, I was like, all the like the hokey gimmicks coming out with Scott Hall. You got the NASCAR guys. You got, who else do they have? What was the other people? Toby Keith, the singer.
NASCAR, the singer,
and then you had all these X Division guys finish it off, and I was like, oh, this is fucking, like the commentary's on point. Like I was just like, this is finally good.
No, yeah, it took them I guess real time 4 hours to figure it out, but they kind of figured it out, and hopefully 3 will be better from a production standpoint.
Yeah,
but we're not really there yet. But yeah, so as we were saying, next is our main event, which means it's time for the best hour, our favorite hour, the Troy McClure Hour. Hello, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such bring the family together moments as drunk women, confused kids, and angry men. Grandma's 80th birthday party, the movie. Welcome to the neighborhood. Now get the hell out. Or stealing your sister's underwear, a totally normal thing. Today, we're here to say goodbye forever to our dear friends. So who are the stars of TNA tonight? AJ Styles, starting out as a masked wrestler, Mr. Olympia in the Georgia-based promotion NCW National Championship Wrestling in the year 1998. The NCW merged with the NWA in 1999, becoming NWA Wildside, and Mr. Olympia changed his name from AJ Styles to AJ Styles and lost the mask. He went on to win the heavyweight title in 2001. Also in 2001, he was offered a WCW contract and wrestled in the tag team Air Raid, notably losing to Elix Skipper and Kid Romeo on a March 2001 Nitro.
I wonder if he took that contract.
It's a mystery for the end of time, I am assure you. Next is Jerry Lynn, beginning his career in 1988, winning both the heavyweight and light heavyweight title from the independent promotion Pro Wrestling America in the same year, 1988. In 1989, Lynn was the last challenger to the AWA World Heavyweight Champion, Larry Zbyszko.
Oh, wow.
Before Zbyszko left for WCW. Started becoming the living legend of the commentary and all that stuff.
And he gives a bow to the crowd.
In the early 90s, he worked for promotions like Universal Lucha Libre, USWA, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
There it is.
Global Wrestling Force. That's not the Jarrett one that you know now. It's a different one.
Okay.
For a different one. Smoky Mountain Pro Wrestling, Michinoku Pro Wrestling, and CMLL. He joined WCW in 95 under the name Mr. JL and left for ECW in 97, where he stayed until it collapsed in 2001. After he joined the WWF, now WWE, held their light heavyweight title, but then suffered a knee injury and was released in 2002.
I don't like how you said ECW collapsed in 2001. You could have just said it ended. You
Sorry.
didn't have to aggressively say it collapsed.
Sorry, it kind of did. I mean, there's a lot of bounced checks at the end there. Low Key, beginning wrestling in 1990, or late 1998, under the name Low Key, allegedly derived from the Blackstreet song No Diggity, specifically verse number 3. She's got style and class, street knowledge by the pound, baby never act wild, very low key on the profile.
According to Tenay, he actually said that on commentary.
He said it, yeah, he did say it, yeah. Starting out for Jersey All-Pro Wrestling, failing to achieve the tag team titles 3 times in his first 2 years, he is currently, in 2002, cementing himself as a founding father of ROH.
Yep.
Who it's him, Brian Danielson, and who else? I always forget the last one.
Joe didn't show up yet.
No. Oh, then Daniels.
Tyler Black?
Is it Daniels?
Or
whatever. Psychosis.
Austin Aries? I don't know.
Roderick Strong? I don't know. Psychosis began wrestling in 1989 for local Mexican promotions, having notable feuds against El Hijo de Santo, Rey Mysterio Jr., La Parca, now known as L.A. Park, Juventud Guerrera, and Fuerza Guerrera. He gained American notoriety in the WCW AAA event When Worlds Collide. That's the one where nobody wanted to do it, and now we know who Mike Tenay is.
Mm-hmm.
He signed with WCW in 1996, joined the Latino World Order in 1998, and won the WCW Cruiserweight title for 1 week in 1999. Also, he lost his mask in September of 1999. Interesting note, in the year 2000, Juventud Guerrera lost the IWGP title to a DUI, and Lenny Lane lost his Cruiserweight title after being taken off TV due to trouble with GLAD, G-L-A-D-D.
Oh, yeah.
In both of those cases, Psychosis was given the title to hold on to, like as a replacement, and then lost those titles in the same night, giving him the distinction of being a wrestler who lost 2 titles he never won.
Wow! How does that... So are you ever a champion then?
I don't know.
You lost the title, but were you you were the champion in that match? You didn't get introduced? I don't know. That's confusing.
There's that promo I remember that RVD and I think Booker T did or something like that. Where he's like, "Hey, I'm 5-time champion." And RVD's like, "Wow, you lost the world title 5 times?" And he's like, "You son of a..." That actually applies to Psychosis. He only lost 2 titles. He never
won them.
He's never.
Wow.
So segment 11, we get a recap of the opening 6-man X Division match from the first show, showing the highlights, and then they cut to the dancing girls. And then Tenay says the Flying Elvises are pissed because they defeated Lynn Styles and Low Key, which is the first match was between Flying Elvises and those 3. But they aren't in this X Division match.
Oh, and by the way, Psychosis was in a tag match the night before and lost that tag match.
Yeah, and also
so it's all losers.
Yeah, it's all losers. Yeah, which I guess is a valid claim, but they clarify by saying, well, those weren't singles matches, and this is.
Yeah, well, Tenay also says that apparently this card was booked before those matches actually happened.
That's another thing.
That's
too.
what he said.
Yes. That's another big point to make. Segment length, 1 minute and 10 seconds. I only break this up this way because they did too. They cut to the dancing girls.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's kind of like
So
a segment.
I will say
transition.
that seeing the recap before each match like this, yeah, I totally get why the video version of this show was getting copywritten every 8 seconds, because apparently there's only one way you can recap a wrestling show.
Yep.
And it is all right there.
Yep.
Segment 12, your main event. The phenomenal AJ Styles versus Psychosis versus Jerry Lynn versus Low Key.
I'm not sure if this was actually filmed in chronological order of the card or if this was filmed first. But if it was filmed last, and I think it was, a lot of people already left at this point.
They had
the
to
crowd
already,
was empty.
yes.
And it seems to be a lot of the kids are missing now that were there. So it would be accurate
Like,
that they
it's
would
too
leave
late, they
first.
gotta leave,
Yeah.
the kids gotta go home. Yeah. No, I agree.
You could tell, especially on the hard cam side, there was a lot of
There's
empty
a
seats
lot
all of a
empty
sudden.
seats. Yeah. The only reason I really noticed it because I was like, I feel like the crowd is hotter now than they have been for any other match, and there's visibly less people, and it didn't make
So I
sense.
wonder
to
if it
me.
was filmed first then, the X Division Championship match.
I
don't know,
don't
that's
know.
weird.
I don't understand. Yeah. Or are they piping in reactions? Is that what it is? Yeah, like I said, it was a little confusing to me. It was sus, super sus. So Mike puts over the competitors as they enter. AJ is always coming up with new moves. Psychosis is an 11-year veteran and a former WCW champ. I got to point out, last week, Mike TNA gave us 3 names to call him. Psychosis, Nico the Millionaire, and his real name.
Yeah.
And then this week, he calls him both Psych and Psycho. So we now have 5 names to call Psychosis.
I don't know who this man is anymore.
Low Key is from Brooklyn and uses martial arts. And then Ferrara jumps in to put over Lynn, saying he's a 14-year veteran and a force to be reckoned with, but Mike can't help himself and just vomits all the knowledge he knows about Lynn that we just heard. Like, he really couldn't help himself. Typical X Division commentary during this entire match, which is hard and fast play-by-play interrupted by screaming.
Yep.
So basically, our show, like the show we produce.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we are so annoying. The only highlights that I can find that are worth mentioning. Jerry Lynn's Global Wrestling Force feud with the Lightning Kid, aka X-Pac. They mentioned it. That happened.
Yeah.
This is the greatest thing we've ever seen. Something they say. Watching Low Key is like watching Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And then, Low Key is the thinking man's wrestler.
Is he?
That's what today said.
I heard him say that, but I wasn't convinced he was talking about Loki because it just doesn't
it
make
doesn't make
sense.
I didn't know what he was talking about.
Just kicks people.
And then at one point, Tenay goes on a train of information, but actually stops himself to call moves. And I was like, what?
Ooh.
So they explain the rules to this match. 2 losses eliminates you from the match, but 1 pin means you get replaced by the next wrestler in rotation. AJ and Psychosis start. Psychosis takes control, but AJ hits a super kick for a 2. Psychosis hits a spinning leg attack. That's what Tenay calls it.
Yeah.
Followed by a guillotine leg drop for a 2. Styles reverses a Hurricane Rana into a Styles clash for the 3. AJ has 1 pin, but I guess it's not really about wins, it's about losses. So then I guess Psychosis has 1 loss.
Less
Pins to win.
less skins to lose. Wait, lose your skins. I don't know.
Take my skin off, it burns. What? Low Key enters with kicks.
Yeah. Oh. I have a kayfabe question. Does Loki know that wrestling is fake?
I don't know.
Because he is not holding back
I don't
at
know.
all. And if he is holding back, I am terrified to see his actual real kicks.
I know. Because here's a kayfabe breaker. I'm going to break kayfabe for you right now. He does punch his chest when he kicks. So he
Okay.
does give himself a sound effect.
Okay.
But there's no way he can punch his chest that hard that it can echo in the arena
You
like
can
that.
see the recoil off of the human being and the recoil from his foot coming off the man's chest when he kicks them.
Yo.
Like, if I guarantee you, like, if that isn't his real kicks, if you've ever seen Dragon Ball Z during the World's Martial Arts Tournament, they have a punching machine where to test your strength. If Vegeta just taps it and destroys it with, like, it flies across the field.
Those are his kicks.
That's his kicks, I
That's his
guarantee
kick,
you.
guarantee
Because if those are his fake kicks, then yeah. then yeah.
Well, then I guess Brian Cage better look out because he has machine-breaking kicks.
Oh, and he's a machine.
So he enters with kicks, but AJ Styles hits a Hurricane Rana from lying down on his back.
That was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Tipped up into Hurricane Rana, basically. It was amazing. Yeah.
I remember why I started liking AJ so hard in the
amazing.
beginning because he's since day one.
Exactly what Mike Tenay said. He is always coming up with new moves. He is always reinventing moves. AJ is taken out with a kick. Low-key goes for a cartwheel monkey flip in the corner, but AJ turns it into a Styles Clash, but Low-key flips out of it and kicks AJ.
So mean.
Dragon Sleeper off the top rope by Low-key, and a kick to the throat.
He has those ugly pants, all leather so you can slap, and he doesn't slap it once. He just kicks people as hard as he can.
Yeah, he just goes.
I don't get it.
He's
so mean.
Full on feet. And then, who does this? I guess this must be Low-key misses a Phoenix double stomp off the top rope.
Oh, yeah, gracefully lands onto his feet and rolls gets back
through,
up.
yeah.
He's so athletic. Jesus.
AJ Lariat, followed by a German into a backdrop wheelbarrow facebuster for the three. No. Yeah, for the 3 on Low-key, which means 2 wins for AJ, but again, that doesn't mean anything.
No.
It's just something I wrote in my notes, and ignore it. Jerry Lynn runs in with a clothesline, hits the cradle pile driver, 3 on AJ. He's gone. That's 1 loss for AJ. Psychosis hits a missile dropkick to the back of Lynn's head. Lynn eventually turns around with a tilt-a-whirl flying head scissor. Yo, he does too many tilt-a-whirls.
Yeah.
He does too. Learn a second move.
He has a beautiful backbreaker, though. I like it.
He's got a lot of what he does looks good, but he needs to do another thing on top of that.
You never know what's coming. He starts tilting your world, and you think you can predict what's going to happen. No, he does something else.
I guess. Maybe, yeah. All right. Fine, you're selling.
I love Jerry Lynn. I'm sorry.
You're selling me. Bulldog off the second rope, but only a 2. Lynn's powerbomb is then reversed into a Hurricane Rana to the outside. Psychosis plancha. Spinning heel kick off the top from Psychosis. This time it's called a spinning leg lariat. 2 count as Psychosis tells the crowd to shut their mouth in Spanish. He just gets it. He's like,
yeah.
Starts screaming at him. I honestly, at this point, I would not for a second disbelieve that they're probably yelling racial obscenities at him. Like, they're very drunk. Yeah. It's the end of the night. It's nothing but rowdy people. I guarantee you they're just like yelling beaner at him or something.
Of course, you'd go to that one.
I like bean! So, reverse TDT by Lynn. Dropkick, cradle pile driver, and that's the 3. That's 2 losses for Psychosis. He is out of there. Low-key enters and kicks a bent-over Lynn right in the face. Don lets me know that my math was just a little bit wrong because the pay-per-views are actually $9.95, not $9.99, which means technically the percentages are correct, but they actually made less money. I mean, they need less money, but they still made less money.
Yeah.
Lynn has no losses right now compared to AJ and Low-key's 1 each. Low-key abuses Lynn in the corner. Low-key hits the forward roll heel kick up the turnbuckle. Like, Lynn is sitting on a turnbuckle, and Lynn rolls into the turnbuckle and hits him with his heel in his face.
So he almost does like a
like rolls up the turnbuckle.
A turnbuckle cannonball splash, but instead he's just using his feet to whip into him instead of doing that.
It's not the cannonball, And then he follows it up with a Hurricane Rana, but Lynn rolls through, and he holds on for a 2. Lynn hits an Enziguri and gets a double down count, but they're up by 6. A through the ropes shoulder block by Low-key is reversed into a leg drop onto the ropes. Lynn's cradle pile driver is reversed into an armbar that's turned into a powerbomb. The ref hits the 3, but says the shoulder was up, so Low-key's still in.
Fucking hate Slick Johnson. He's just such a over pantomiming bastard with his shoulder up, looking into the camera, doing his little dance moves.
That shoulder was up.
Oh, I can't. I'm sorry. I wish I had a count how many times I wrote in my notes that I fucking hate Slick Johnson. I can't stand him.
Low-key picks up Lynn and a fisherman suplex. Oh, he picks him up for a fisherman suplex, struggles with him, and then gets planted for a DDT himself.
Mm.
Lynn with a short arm clothesline, followed by a cradle pile driver, which means Loki's out, and now AJ needs 2 wins. AJ in, discus clothesline, followed by a Styles Clash attempt. It's reversed, but AJ very quickly recovers. Lynn hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, that's the one you like, and gets a 2, followed by a double down count, and they're both up before 4. Springboard Phoenix Splash by AJ. A drop salt is no-sold, and Lynn hits a tornado DDT and gets a 2 count. Double down lasts till 7. Hangman's Noose Neckbreaker, which is what TNA calls a suplex turned into a Hangman's Neckbreaker,
Okay.
which is done by AJ.
Yeah.
Lynn reverses something into a running set out powerbomb, but AJ gets up and hits a Styles Clash. That means it's a loss for Lynn, so next pin wins.
That was a little confusing for me.
Which one?
Because I don't think they made it that clear. They could have used graphics or something. He got he hit the Styles Clash 1, 2, 3, and he won. And then he needed another win. And I was like, oh, that's right. It was just like, it all just started happening. And I thought it was over. And it wasn't over yet.
And then like, oh wait, there's still a 10-minute match that has to happen.
I feel like there had to be people in the crowd where they were like, yeah, AJ won. And then Ricky Steamboat started counting. And they're like, why is Ricky Steamboat counting now?
Yo, I'm right with you if you listen to this and going, Jesus Christ, there's more. Because at this point, I look at the timeline, and there's 10 minutes left, and I'm like, there had better be a 10-minute Jarrett promo at the end of this show.
So did I. I was like, this match is going on way too long.
Better, and there wasn't. And then I was like, yo, you guys ruined this for me because it was great.
That match kept going.
Ruined it, yeah. Double Down starts the final fall, and it lasts till an 8. Oh, I bet this is going to be great.
Steamboat stood up and started doing the counting. 1, 2, 3. He got to 3, and then the crowd started going 4, 5 with him. And he heard that, and he got real excited, and he just started walking over to the other side of the ring and started looking at the crowd. I was like, 6! And I was like, what is he doing? Why is he pandering to the crowd now?
He forgot. We're going to count to 10, and then we're all going to yell, Ricky Steamboat!
Yay for me!
Yay! So, reversals galore, pins galore, double clothesline, double down count goes to 9. Lynn brings it outside, gets really violent here, throws AJ into the old school actual steel guardrails. You hear all the metal clang and
He
shit.
did like a flipping cell into it too.
It wakes the crowd up. Everybody wakes up after that one. They're like, Jesus, oh my God. Back inside, AJ hits his signature springboard reverse DDT. Oh, no, sorry. Still on the outside.
Yeah.
Hits his signature springboard reverse DDT. Don West finally says something I can agree with, which is, can you believe we get to see more of these types of matches here in NWA or in TNA? And I was like, yeah, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, he was like, can you believe this is just the first one? And I was like, I guess. What does that have to do with it?
It's actually
Being the first
the
one.
second one? 'Cause we had, I don't really know how you guys count. Lynn, with an inverted suplex, hangs AJ out to dry on the top rope and then hits a top rope assisted DDT. Yo, everyone is so into this match at this point that the ref, the crowd, and the commentators are all like, 1, 2, oh, for every pin.
That DDT looked good. I was in it.
From
I was
that
in for it,
pin on, everyone is in. They are in. I don't know what Lynn was thinking here personally.
Okay.
When he picks him up for a spinning reverse gory special, he just puts him upside down on his shoulders in the gory special and spins around. And then AJ just breaks out of it like nothing happened. I was like, well, what was that move for? What was your plan?
Make him lightheaded?
Yo, apparently it woke him up. Because he jumps out of the move, he flips out of the move, and then does a Hurricane Rana. No problem. But Lynn pushes him off, turning it into a flipping sit-out facebuster. Like,
I thought that might have been the end.
AJ does the flip
That
and then
looked
X
good,
Factor.
yeah.
Yeah. Lynn gets only a 2, though. AJ reverses a powerbomb, picks up Lynn, and then drops Lynn's head on the back of his own knee, AJ's knee. Bam!
Yeah, he still does
Again,
that today.
I was like, oh my God, that's it. 2 count. Brainbuster by Lynn.
Spinning Brainbuster.
That's
It's
it.
like 360.
That's it. Nope, 2 count. This is what is happening right now. It's going. Every move really looks like it's going to be the end. It's
Yeah.
getting good. Lynn applies a sleeper, but a stunner breaks it. On the top rope, AJ is stopped and superplexed, but it's still only a 2.
Of course.
Lynn puts AJ back on the top rope, but Lynn gets pushed off and hits with a Phoenix Senton, aka the spiral tap, for the 3, because that's his finisher. So your winner and new and first ever TNA X Division champion. Tenay says, remember the name, AJ Styles. The future of our sport has arrived.
Finally. 100% accurate. Finally.
And they recap the match at the end. Match length, 26 minutes on the nose. Segment length, 33 minutes and 36 seconds. Your thoughts about the match?
It was the best match so far.
Yeah.
It was the best production I felt. I felt the commentary was on point. No one was really like making fun of anything. It wasn't too much satire. It was all serious.
Right.
It reminded me of what TNA turns into eventually, kind of what like AEW is now. This is what I want TNA to be moving forward. Even though I know it's just always going to be one segment for the X Division, and the rest is going to be hokey shit. But okay. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Right. Not much I didn't really enjoy, except for the time. It lasted a little too long for me. Even though the ending was good and I got back into it, it was just like you could have cut a little in the middle, I guess. Or
that's what happened to me. Is like the first like 5 minutes, great. The last 5 minutes, great. The like 15 to 20 minutes in between, that really it was a lot.
Yeah, when Jerry first came in and gave the power driver to AJ and pinned him 1, 2, 3. They probably should have done that again instead of having 2 matches at the end. They had like 2 full matches at the end.
Yeah.
They should have had a quick match and then that fucking long match they had, which was actually good.
Yes. Yeah, because at the end, they go full into, everything I hate about that type of wrestling is none of the pins matter, none of the moves matter.
Yeah.
And people get hit with power bombs and they kick out at 2 and then they stand right up and then they get kicked in the face. And it's like, I don't know if you guys are doing anything to each other.
This is the second show. The last match of the second show that you're filming, everyone's been there for like 4 hours,
right?
And you're doing all this shit.
I thought it was a lot, like from a show wise, especially from a taping wise, it was a lot to expect people to be into. They pulled it out at the end, but it's just
still good. Could have been better though.
I don't know. Yeah. Look, I guess what I'm trying to say is the Young Bucks ruined the wrestling business.
How dare you?
Because it wasn't AJ Styles and TNA and all that. No, it was clearly them today, right now. So, but outside of that, seriously, this is still some of the most impressive wrestling I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
And still today, like it's some of the best I've ever seen.
And my problem from last week with them when they worked was there was no selling, but that was also because of the time that they had. They had a lot more time this time. They sold a lot more. So I was like, that's a lot better.
Yeah. So hopefully once it gets down to 2 people.
Yeah, X Division
5
title
to
match.
7 minute match. Then it's going to be like, Post match, we cut to commentary for the closing summary and we set up next week one night tournament for the NWA or the TNA. I don't know which one they say, but for the tag team titles.
The NWA.
It's NWA tag? Okay. Also, Jeff Jarrett and K Crush versus Scott Hall and Brian Christopher. Also, Shamrock versus the 6'9", 300-pound disciple of the New Church, Malice. Can Shamrock be a 2-week champion? Find out next week. And we close on a recap shot of AJ with the X Division title. Ooh. Bell to bell to bell to bell to bell. 53 minutes and 58 seconds of wrestling on this hour and 45-minute show.
Well, that's a lot better than last time, I'm pretty sure, right?
No.
Why was that
less? It's less.
Fuck.
It's about, 7, 8. Oh, wait, other way. 6 minutes. It's about 6 minutes shorter. But I don't know, probably, I would say more entertaining though.
No, yeah, definitely. I felt like there was at least better wrestling.
So what are your thoughts about the whole show?
It felt like a continuation of the first show.
Yeah.
The order was probably reversed. I don't know why. The X Division should have been somewhere in the beginning to get me hyped up, put the women in the middle where it was, and then have those legends finish it off. With, what was it? Hall and Jarrett? I thought that was really weird they started with Hall and Jarrett.
Yeah.
And I wasn't into it because I think I needed to get hyped up for it.
Right.
I needed that X Division to hype me up for wrestling for me to watch these 2 guys slow down and work the crowd.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy that. So
yeah,
they need to tweak the card for me and get better at camera work.
Right. That's I don't know if they with that Jarrett match if They were like, let's just do it now while we know how he is, instead of waiting an hour and giving him an hour to get lost and get drunk.
Yeah,
and
it might have been a Hall
whatever.
thing.
It's,
Yeah.
whatever else he might be doing. Let's do it now, and then we don't have to worry about what he does because it's over. Yeah. My thoughts are, so there's a tag team tournament next week, which may or may not include
Yeah, did they announce
Paul
anyone?
and Christopher versus Jarrett and Crush, because both times they announced both of those events very close to each other. So I feel like it won't, but it really seems like that match is part of the tag tournament.
I feel like it's just going to be a tag team night, and they're going to be the main event, but
Well, I mean,
there's also going to be other tag team matches happening.
right, because it's gotta be. There's only so many matches you can have on the card, and it's a tournament and another tag match, so it's like, but like my big takeaway from this whole event, honestly, is I have never in my life seen a wrestler go from 1 week kayfabe but 1 hour real time, from looking like a chump with a forgettable name to one of the best tag team wrestlers I have seen in years. Chris Harris completely turned around my opinion on him.
Just needs to wear jeans, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know what he did when he did it. Yeah. Yeah, he's really good as a tag team wrestler from what I saw.
Yeah.
And it seems like you could probably
Because last week he was in a battle royal, wasn't that it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then this
Nothing
week, when you let him do his thing, and I was like, yo, that thing he's good at. He's really good at that thing.
I remember being a huge, what is it? AMW?
Right.
America's Most Wanted. I remember being a huge mark for them
Right.
in the very beginning of this when I was watching as a kid.
Exactly.
Or
Yeah.
however old I was, teenager.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The only other thoughts I have about the show is if next week contains another 30-minute plus multi-man, multi-fall main event, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real pissed. And then we didn't mention it, so I just want to mention it right now. Don West is dressed like Island Dream Jazz. And this is what I wrote down, although upon review, I'm not sure if I fully agree with it. Ed Ferrara is dressed like the Phenomena puppet. No.
Wasn't he wearing black? He was wearing the same, I think, fuzzy shirt, but it was black, and he was still wearing the same.
He changed his attire, like, completely, I think.
I think he still had the leather pants, I thought.
Oh,
I could
okay.
be remembering wrong, but I think he had like a fuzzy black shirt instead, so
Yeah.
he was wearing all black
I
this
don't
time.
know. I don't know if I agree with that Phenomena puppet note I have, but Island Dream Jazz.
Yes.
Yes.
And Tenay is still a dork in his tuxedo.
He's, full tux, never changes. He goes home and he takes off his head.
Oh!
Puts it back in the recharge station. All right, so why would you make this? We already kind of said it, which it feels like they were building to something that they weren't building to.
Yeah, well, to be fair, they were already making it. They wouldn't make it. The first one they were making. And then this is a continuation. This is the second. This is part 2 of the same day. So
Right, yeah, and that's the thing.
The question should be, why would you continue making it?
Right, yeah. Well, that's the thing is it's the end of the first taping, and not only that, a lot of these celebrities like Toby Keith and the NASCAR guys, we're not going to see them again. So we have to blow off whatever they have right now.
Yeah.
So that's why it feels
Everything
like a blow
felt
off
quick,
thing.
yeah.
It needs to be, yeah.
And the unfortunateness of them running pay-per-views is it's hard to really establish a super card then, because everything's a pay-per-view.
Yes.
So what is really time? You can only just do like week to week, and then you can do 3 weeks, you can do 5 weeks, but you can't build to something.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, that's why they built it, because they had to get rid of that. They had a bunch. Their hands were full. They had to get rid of them. That's why.
They just happened to be in Hubble, Alabama at that time. So,
all right. So guess the next card. What's going to be on it? I mean, tag team tournament. So at base, 3 matches.
we're gonna have another midget
2
match.
teams versus 2
I
teams.
want another midget match.
So that's and then actually, because we have at least 3 matches for the tag team tournament.
Okay.
And then maybe a 4th tag team match of Jarrett and Hall and all that, if that's not in that 3-match tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4. And then we're also going to have Shamrock versus Mouse, the NWA title. That's
Okay.
5. So they already have 5 matches.
And they're not going to be double booked the next week because they're going to tape 2 shows. So I still think that's plenty of room for a midget match.
Okay.
I want a midget match.
We're going to have a 6 matches midget match.
A random X division match.
Another X match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's going to be hard because
Right. That's 7.
Who else do they have? The Dubs are probably going to be in the tag team
Right.
tournament.
Well, if this is the case, then we're probably going to also need to see, because that's 7 matches. And
yeah.
And then there's still like what, at least 3 segments we have to do, and those 3 segments are probably going to be, Alicia's during a match. But Alicia's got to be showing up again.
Oh yeah.
We got to see her again.
That could be the X Division match.
Miss
or nothing's really happening.
TNA.
Oh yeah, we'll have
You gotta do something like
we'll have a
coronation
women's
or something.
segment, yeah.
And like you said, maybe Puppet will have something in there, and then I feel like the new church should have a promo on the next show.
Yeah, to set up Malice.
I feel like they should have one promo. Yeah.
Maybe what's his face will have a quick match. Slash. And so he'll have a promo like after that.
Oh, that
just
could
for
be
the new
it.
church.
Yeah, then that's like 9 matches or something like that.
He could be part of the X Division match. I don't know.
Yeah, that's look. So far, that's a packed card. If that's the case, that is a packed card. I don't think it's gonna be that packed. I think it's gonna be similar to what we just saw, which was like 10 segments, which some of those segments being a recap segment. Makes sense to me. All right, yeah. So that was the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, share it with your friends and your family or your enemies or dogs in the street you meet. Whatever. Just share it with everybody. Go ahead.
It's not a crime to share.
No, it's not. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. It depends what the government feels about it. You just give it the whole like and 5-star review and all that stuff. And thanks for enjoying it. The intro music is still an edited version of Falling Off Your Love by Kill Paris, which now includes the NWA TNA entrance theme, I guess. So yeah, once again, join us for NWA TNA pay-per-view number 3 next time we do a show. For Brother Skylar, I am Jimmy Time. Please remember that without the mistakes of others, we'd be forced to endure the pain of failure ourselves. Support the arts.
The preceding recording is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed in this podcast do not necessarily represent the views of Why Would You Make This, its owners, employees, or associates.